Kaspa is going to make millionaires by the end of 2025. Hello and a warm welcome back to Tommy Does Crypto. It has been a long time since I've shared a video with you guys, but I'm planning on getting back into more frequent uploading. And as we enter the business end of the bull run, you do not want to miss out on an update. So make sure that you are subscribed with bell notifications on. Although I've continued posting updates on my Twitter account, I haven't posted here on YouTube in a while, so this video will be a condensed mid-year update on the general markets, highlighting recent news and upcoming bullishness, such as Crypto Week at Washington DC, which starts on the 14th of July. And of course, as usual, you guys know I'll be focusing on the latest and greatest news surrounding Kaspa as well. If you do enjoy, please remember to smash that like button and share the video around, as not only does it help my channel reach more people, but it also helps Kaspa reach more people too. Anyway, without wasting any more time, let's dive straight into it. At the beginning of June, the news quickly turned to the Donald Trump and Elon Musk show, as the two had a major falling out over Trump's new so-called Big Beautiful Bill, which as of July 3rd has been signed into law. Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, had begun working quickly after Trump took office back in January, leading a major initiative to cut the US national debt by highlighting where there was inefficient spending within the US government. However, when Trump released his Big Beautiful Bill propositions, Elon felt not only disappointed but massively betrayed, since he felt that the bill undermined the work of DOGE through its failure to cut back on many of DOGE's suggestions. The One Big Beautiful Bill includes spending increases such as in defense and border security, as well as extending Trump's 2017 tax cuts for higher earners, which consequently will result in a huge gap in the government's revenues. Ultimately, not only have top economists concluded that the bill is a disaster in its quest to balance the budget and slash the deficit, but that it has the potential of adding a whopping $6 trillion worth of debt over the next 10 years to the US economy. This continued spiraling American debt will obviously be very bad for the dollar, since it will result in the money printers flying into full force, devaluing the currency, leading to soaring inflation and a weakened economy in the years to come. While the passing of this bill looks detrimental to the future of America's economy, in terms of its impacts on the crypto markets, there are some positives to take, as sound crypto investments like Bitcoin and Kaspa offer investors a hedge against the rampant degradation of the dollar, ultimately fueling adoption and a booming crypto market over the coming years as the fiat system continues to break down in front of our eyes. The Iran-Israel war is obviously another significant factor that we need to keep a close eye on top of when analysing the global markets, and the recent conflict created serious volatility in stock and crypto markets alike. After 12 days of back and forth bombings and the American missile strike on June 22nd, which caused a temporary fall in the markets, a ceasefire is now in place between the nations, which has since resulted in the markets recovering and regaining stability after falling briefly. It's important to understand that any escalation or break to that ceasefire could once again have instantaneous negative price implications on the market. However, that does not necessarily entail a black swan crash event for crypto, since due to Bitcoin's growing acceptance and adoption as a tangible sound investment in the mainstream, particularly over the last year, it is likely that Bitcoin will be able to take on the same role that gold has in turbulent war-fueled times like this, as ultimately it will be seen as a great hedge against geopolitical uncertainty and market volatility. Interestingly, Bitcoin's hash rate fell by 27% in June, likely directly caused by fears attached to the escalating conflict, but also partially due to the US airstrikes which disrupted Iran's power grid, which is estimated to account for 4.5% of global Bitcoin mining. Having said that though, Bitcoin's hash rate looks to be making a swift recovery since the ceasefire, suggesting that confidence in mining has not been damaged looking into the long term. Tariff policies and news has been one factor affecting the market significantly since Trump's election, and his tariff deadline extension to August the 1st means that we must remain cautious at the moment, since failure to secure trade deals by that date might reignite market volatility and short-term dips. Next week in America, from July 14th to the 18th, is Crypto Week in Washington DC, whereby the House of Representatives will decide on and establish clear regulatory framework for crypto as America tries to position itself as the global leader in blockchain technology. I personally see two outcomes emerging from next week. Either in a bullish case scenario, significant progress is made on passing acts and legislation, which consequently could see Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high within a week, unless of course major global news disrupts that, like Iran or tariff disagreements. Or in the second case scenario, delays in passing the bills might occur, which might then result in a short-term price dip while we wait for more progress to be made. Now, time to catch up on all things Kaspa. And unless you've been living under a rock for the last 2 months, you will have known that Kaspa has successfully completed its crescendo hard fork, increasing the block speeds from 1 to a huge 10 blocks per second, making it the world's fastest proof-of-work network by a country mile. This demonstrates Kaspa's incredible scalability to a new level never seen before, and reinforces the notion that Kaspa is the blockchain trilemma solver, fulfilling Satoshi Nakamoto's vision and establishing itself as the ideal peer-to-peer digital currency. In other words, a perfect hard money. Taking a look at the power law now, and due to Kaspa's price action over the last year, the R² value in the power law model has fallen to 86%, suggesting that the Kaspa power law model has broken down for the foreseeable future. Having said that, it is of course still possible that once Kaspa's price shoots above that fair value line again and holds there for long enough, the R² value will once again increase, and therefore the power law model could become more applicable once again, say for example if the R² value returns to north of the 92% area-ish. As of right now though, just because Kaspa isn't following a power law model to the same accuracy it was early last year, that does not negatively affect how Kaspa will perform over the coming months and years. The fundamentals and technology remain superior to the rest of the crypto market, especially after the crescendo update, and I still strongly believe that Kaspa's path to the very top is inevitable. Just because a technical price model doesn't hold up, that should never affect your conviction for the fundamentals and the reasons that you invested into the project in the first place. As of right now, 75% of the Kaspa supply has not moved for 3 months. This not only highlights the strong conviction of long-term Kaspa holders as they tightly hodl onto their bags, but it also entails that the supply of Kaspa available to buy is drying up, with less than 3 billion coins in tradable float. Consequently, a supply shock is likely on its way, which is destined to shoot Kaspa's price aggressively northward once demand rises during the next alt season. Looking at previous 4-year crypto cycles, many layer 1 altcoins really enter parabolic phases during Q3 and Q4 of the year in which Bitcoin creates a new major all-time high. If history repeats itself again, we could be seeing Kaspa and other first cycle up-and-coming altcoins breaking out later this year, most likely following summer, and aiming for a peak around late November-December time, potentially even spilling into early 2026 as the M2 money supply continues to tick upwards. Talking about supply shocks, the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges has reached a record low, suggesting a supply squeeze for Bitcoin is very much on the cards in the upcoming months, fueling the bull run towards 150k and even beyond, particularly now that institutions and governments are in a steady accumulation phase at the moment. Using the global money supply M2 indicator with a 10-week lead, we can somewhat usually forecast how money will flow into Bitcoin, and as you can see here, if Bitcoin continues to follow that M2 10-week lead, then we will likely see it smashing a new all-time high very soon as the bull run looks to be picking up speed in the coming months, potentially heading north of 180k per BTC at its peak. While some who don't fully understand Kaspa have felt nervous or scared over the last year due to the unfavorable price action, I have instead put my conviction into practice by capitalizing on the price dips, and as you can see from the small green arrows on this chart, each representing one of my spot buys, I have bought the dips with exceptional timing, filling my Kaspa bags for a very cheap rate. Prices like these will not be around for much longer, and being able to pick up Kaspa for under 10 cents will look cheap as chips in just a few months from now, so make sure you do not miss this opportunity. In other Kaspa news, Zealous is the first decentralized exchange built on Kaspa, promising fast and secure decentralized trading. However, being so new and still in its testnet, it does carry risk for its users and investors, especially with one wallet holding over 80% of the ZEAL token supply at the moment, and many initial investors getting in on a pre-sale, so I would be careful about this one, at least until the price settles down a little bit. At the beginning of June, Kaspa Media posted a teaser picture of Circle and Kaspa. Circle is the issuer of the stablecoin USDC, so this could be massive news for stablecoin adoption on top of Kaspa. However, it is unknown whether this is a teaser of genuine insider information, or rather that Kaspa Media were just posting the idea out there for fun. Over the past few months, Kaspa's industrial initiative has been hard at work on multiple projects. Warp Core aims to integrate Kaspa with traditional financial infrastructures like the global standard ISO 20022, helping to shape Kaspa's role in the future as the perfect cross-border payment system. The Gigawatt Stable project paves the way for ownership of real-world clean energy trading through Kaspa's architecturally superior block DAG infrastructure, while the ZX project enables the tokenization of zero-emission energy and carbon assets on Kaspa's blockchain as well. All in all, these ongoing projects demonstrate the ways in which Kaspa's industrial initiative aims to bring Kaspa a whole new plethora of real-world utility, specifically in relation to the energy sector, as well as global banking. Another exciting recent development regarding Kaspa's real-world utility beyond just payments is Cassia. Already in its beta testing stage, Cassia is an encrypted peer-to-peer messaging protocol built on top of Kaspa. This protocol, built by a community developer, allows users to send private, trustless, and encrypted messages to each other through the Kaspa network for the extremely cheap cost of just 10 Kas per 500,000 messages, without any fears of network congestion. Not only does this incentivize greater network usage, but miners will also receive rewards from the protocol as well. I personally love the idea of Cassia, and who knows, perhaps one day it may become a competitor to more mainstream messaging services like WhatsApp, Telegram, and Signal. Earlier this week, they did announce their new update paving way for mobile-friendly use, a new interface overhaul, and much more, which you can pause and read about here. With the ongoing development of smart contract implementation on Kaspa, as well as Igra Labs working hard to develop a programmable Layer 2 DeFi layer for Kaspa, hoping to release their Caravelle testnet very soon, the future of Kaspa's ecosystem looks extremely bright. By utilizing Kaspa's superior, lightning-fast block DAG, the possibility of an all-encompassing ecosystem will be the final nail in the coffin for most other old blockchains, making the likes of Ethereum, Solana, and more entirely obsolete in comparison to the superior Kaspa. Potenza Tau, as some of you may be aware, is another altcoin AI project I personally hold in my portfolio. Well, just recently, a new subnet has launched on Potenza known as HashTensor, which contributes mining power to securing the Kaspa network in exchange for block rewards. HashTensor is likely going to be beneficial to Kaspa, since it will attract more miners and hash power by offering miners 95% of their Kas rewards, while only converting a small 5% pool fee into Tau to burn alpha tokens. The more miners brought in through HashTensor will increase Kaspa's total hash rate, making the network harder to attack and thus more secure. For those of you who hold Kaspa, I always recommend storing it on a cold wallet like Tangem cards, which you can get 10% off if you use my code. In fact, Tangem recently added a new feature that allows you to buy Kaspa directly using dollars or pounds with MasterCard, Apple Pay, Google, or Visa, all through the Tangem app, which means that you don't even need to go through a centralized exchange. Anyway, today's update was intended to highlight all the latest news and upcoming projects to keep an eye on, but since I wanted to keep the video relatively brief and condensed, I haven't had a chance to fit much technical price analysis in, but more will follow in the next video, so make sure that you are subscribed. Ultimately, it's clear that Kaspa and its ecosystem are seriously laying the foundations for an influx of major adoption towards the end of this year and the peak of the bull cycle. As an investor, your number one priority should always involve keeping well informed and up to date on your investments, as well as constantly re-evaluating your position. At such a cheap and low price with the incredible technology and fundamentals that it boasts, Kaspa is severely undervalued, and those that take advantage of this opportunity will be rewarded in the coming months as we push towards that prophesized $1 mark, and hopefully northward of that too. Anyway, that's going to be all for today. These videos do actually take a very long time to write, create, and edit, so if you did enjoy, please do smash that like button, share it with your mates, and subscribe if you're new. I've been Tommy Does Crypto, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.